you were reported to be involved with a Val-Zod HBO Superman scenario.
We talked about that, sorry.
Oh, okay. I had to try.
It was a noble attempt. It was a noble attempt.
For real. I noticed when I was watching it, I was paying particular attention to the direction, to shot composition and stuff like that. Just because, you know, we have like an accomplished young actor, it's your first time out the gate, so people are gonna be, you know, paying extra attention to it.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that pressure going into it?
I mean, I knew I was gonna be compared to everything that came before me, you know, other actor directors, you know, all that good stuff. Like, you know, that's kind of part of it. But still, that didn't really sway my choices or how I wanted to do things. If anything, it made me, you know, take more creative swings and kind of like rely on my instinct and things that just like trying to storytell, you know, and really tap into the emotions and the characters and the visual language and, you know, where I put the cameras and, you know, things of that nature. Some I have very vividly in my brain and some we just figure out, you know, on the day with my incredible cinematographer, you know, and my incredible cast. So like it was just listening to all things and just trying to make the most truthful decisions and choices.
Let's see if I can say this in the least awkward way possible, but you've been getting some attention for your physique.
Yeah.
But that's nothing new. Like, even Montgomery was in pretty good shape.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
So now that you're playing like hulking characters like Kang and Dame, do you just try and stay in peak shape the whole time, or do they all have a different approach?
Well, they're all different weight classes. You know, I like to think they're all champs, but they're all different weight classes. You know, Kang is in the Avenger class. You know, he's in the Marvel class. That's a certain stature. You know, I know he's gonna move a certain way. I mean, fitness and health have always been a big thing for me. You know, but the opportunity to apply those things directly to cinema is new because these characters are a bit, for lack of a better term, extreme. You know, like these guys do that. You know, like this guy is a boxer. You know, world heavyweight boxer. You know, the picture I shot after this, he was a bodybuilder. You know, a real bodybuilder. So those things had to be done. So certain amount of maintenance. You know what I mean? Appetite is the appetite now. You know, gotta eat, gotta sleep. Yeah.
Have you seen the humorous thirst trap tweets, or do you avoid it?
I've been shared. Your colleagues tend to want to share them.
To colleagues, yeah. Everyone wants to make you feel awkward, put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's I really only pretend to be uncomfortable sometimes. It doesn't really bother me.
I've always thought you had the hardest job because in all three films, a lot of your gig is reacting silently, right? You're reacting to watching this man fight for his life. I was wondering if you could take me through what that process is like, and is there anything you tap into?
I really appreciate, I think, the idea of getting to act in silences. Like I always really love that challenge, what you can communicate without words. And I think something that felt particularly interesting this go around is also to work inside of ASL. I think the way that also changed my idea of performance and getting to work with Mila. This is her first time acting and she's remarkable. But I learned a lot from her in terms of everything that you can express without words in the way that I have always known how to express myself. So I think that was an exciting new thing to find at this point in playing this character.
How does that feel that your first time out the gate, you're serving as an example?
Yeah, well, I feel really happy about that statement, but I want to say, okay, I did teach her some things.
Yes.
You know, I did show her how to express herself, but she also taught me a lot too. So really, I think it was her mostly teaching me, not the other way around. I would look at her facial expressions, I would look at how she showed emotions, how she expressed herself, how she showed her character's reaction, how things looked so real. And I learned so much from her on this film. So I just want to thank her for teaching me all those things. And she made it easier for me to feel comfortable during this whole process. Because, you know, sometimes you can feel like it might be hard and it's challenging if you've never done it before, but having someone with her, like her on my team, she would come over and explain things to me, tell me about the characters, and then I would say, okay, I feel a lot more comfortable and it's easier for me to go ahead and do it and know how to react. So thank you, Tessa.
Aww. This is so much more wholesome than I planned on it being this.
You see that man right there? Do you remember him?
How many times have you seen Creed 3 now, would you say?
Oh, I couldn't even count.
100?
Maybe more, probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many versions, how many, cutting it down, how many sequences I had to look at individually, like putting it together, yeah, that's, I'll probably watch it one more time. Like tomorrow with my family, and then I'm stepping away from it for sure.
You got it memorized at this point.
Yeah, it's not for me anymore. I think it's for everybody else. So I'm just ready to turn it over to the world and for everybody, because I've been living with it for 3 years, so I'm ready to step away.
In the film, you play Michael B's like mentor, older brother, you know what I mean? But you're 3 years younger than the dude.
I am.
Is that like a conversation you guys had, and did that feel?
We never talked about it.
No?
We all knew, but we never talked about it. We never talked about it. Never had a chat. We just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it.
It just never came up.
Well, I think it's like certain things are understood. Mike moves through the world a certain way. I move through the world a certain way, and it worked. For whatever reason,
totally worked.
You buy it,
Before you said action, the very first time, how much shooting had you done? Prior to that, were you making short films to test shots? Were you filming whole scenes and cutting them up just to see how it was gonna look?
That's a great question. I think I shot some references of oneers, but never with the words action, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't say action a lot, even during the course of the movie. I think I mostly said cut, or I just motioned for cut more than anything. So that was kind of my thing.
Sounds like a lot of editing. So.
A lot of editing, but no, just to get a scene started, it's probably better sometimes I would just let the cameras roll and we would just fall into it, without the anxiety of waiting for, action. But to get out of something is, and not letting things linger as long, I would just kind of motion a low little scissor to my first AD, and we kind of built a system that once he saw the scissors, he knew that's when I wanted to cut, and then we would get out of it.
Do you think Dame is a good person? Mm-hmm. And how do you feel that the climax of the film changed him as a man?
Damian's fighting the world and he's trying to hurt people. I vouch for you. You think you mad? Try spending half your life in a cell.
I think Dame is absolutely a good person. I think he's the type of good person that we're actually around more often than we think, and we don't always see him. I think his arc has changed, and he's a better person at the end because the responsibility he takes he becomes even more whole. All the ambition, all the drive. His heart is healed at the end. So now I think Dame might be unstoppable.
You've been doing this with Michael for 7 years, 8 years now, something like that.
I think it's 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, all I have is release dates. You have shooting schedules and the whole thing. Was it bizarre to have this co-star who is now taking on this other role?
It was so cool. I mean, I think sometimes there's this, it's a funny thing where people are like, what was it like? But the truth is, I feel like it's always been such a collaborative process, I feel like we, throughout the course of making the other films, have always been directing each other in a weird way, because we'll check in with each other, we're like, how did that feel? What do you think? So it felt very collaborative, and also, I think anyone that's on set is a filmmaker. And Mike has been on sets since he was 9, since he was Mila's age, younger. And I feel like there's so much experience that he has, so I think is a really kind of a natural transition for him. So it felt really good.
You out there boxing. I need you to start fighting.
You did it.
You did it. Okay.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, dude.
Your first trilogy, right? Bing Bang Boom? to be in all three? One, two, three in a row?
Yes, this is my first, yes.
You've arrived. That's
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
Jeff,
it's good.
it's all good.
It's really good. Congrats, man.
Check with the thing.
Yeah, the thing you did.
Yeah.